Hello and welcome. Today we're at Jerez in Spain on their moto layout, which means you miss out the little chicane towards the end. It's a very, very fast right-hand corner instead. I was in two minds about coming to this track because I thought it was going to be a bit too big, a bit too open. And I didn't think it was going to suit the car very well. But in the few testing short races I've done, well, the few laps really I've done um, to get the setup dialed in, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a belter today. I'm absolutely sure of it. Today's race will be the usual 20-minute race on the default date, which today is the 26th of April 2020. We're going to start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with medium cloud, no pit stops, a standing start, and a heavy rubbered circuit. Our opponents will be the usual maxed out JCW Mini grid with 120 skill level, high aggression, and today we're in the mix. We're going to start from 7th. Today's setup has been taken from the Kyalami circuit. I just took a punt at it really. They both felt like circuits that were kind of similar to each other in their corner styles, and their gradient changes and their curbings, and it felt like a fairly sensible match. So that's where I started from. However, it's been a number of changes. So we've gone forwards on the brake bias by a couple of percent. Nothing major, but just to get it where I wanted it. We've gone down on the rear tyre pressure, but we've seen that as a trend in recent races. And I dare say if I was to go back to Kyalami, I'd probably be looking to do the same. So for now, I'm not gonna say that's a key difference for the moment. I'm just gonna say I think it's a product of our further learning and understanding of what this car on this particular version of the game requires. In the suspension, we have increased the slow bump on the front and increased the slow rebound on the rear. At Kyalami, I think we used it just to help get the front end in a little bit more. Here, it certainly preferred to be maxed out on the damping. And that was all for the suspension changes. And in the drivetrain, we've increased the preload to 350 newton meters. I think it was 300 before. Still with 8 clutches. Still was the best compromise. I tried 10. I tried 6. 8 was the best compromise again. So that's been a pretty consistent setting, that one. Anti-lock brakes at 4. Yeah, there's not much more room to move there. I don't really want to go much more than 4 in the race, but it felt quite nicely balanced. I might nip it up to 5 if I find a bit of snatching going on, but generally speaking, the brake balance is pretty much where I want it to be. But the anti-lock brakes just seem to help settle the car down a little bit in the few testing laps I've done. And today we're going to run a full tank of fuel because we're well and truly on the pace, and I think from what I've seen so far, I think we're in for an absolute belter, and I can't wait to get started. So, without further ado, let's get trackside and let's go racing. smooth start that. Excellent. Is it worth it at this stage? Probably not, is it? I don't want to give those... If I see this gap between Bailey and Ellis grow, I think we're going to have to... Oh, although mistakes like that, we'll definitely make the most of. Yeah, so if the places come our way, we'll make the most of it. I'm not going to put myself in harm's way to make it happen. And the three up front are still fighting, so... Ooh, a bit too fast in. What's the gap, so Bailey's 1.7 back. See if he's closing that gap, we'll let him do it. Very good out of there, aren't we? But that really showed up there, didn't it? So, whereabouts was he? So he was 1.7, wasn't it? He's now 1.3, and we're 1.5, so we've... Right, okay. Okay. We're all closing up. Now I would much prefer a 5-way fight. That's much more fun. Come on, Bailey, get stuck in. Another 0.2, but that's not really enough, I'm afraid. I'm going to have to force the issue, I'm afraid, Mr. Bailey. Otherwise, we're going to run out of time. Very nice, fair racing there with Ellis, wasn't it? Very good, very good, impressive. Increase the ABS on the start finish straight just a little bit. Oh, already at 4. Don't want to go much more than 5. Okay. We'll leave it at 5. We'll go up 1 to 5. Right, Mr. Porter. We meet again. Very good out of there. I can't quite take that last right-hander flat. This one I can. The previous one, no. It's so close though. Very close to being flat. But you got a lift. It's not enough just to lift. You got to lift at the right point. As soon as the front starts to drift, you just can't get it back. You end up in the gravel, well, just rushing the gravel, but it's not a nice feeling. You're far better off just backing it off, powering through, and being consistent. Racing room, perfect. Cannot ask more of an AI. Now they're the sort of track limits I'd like to see more of. Gravel traps. Ones you can see, you know, it's easy to understand you've overstepped the mark because you've gone slower. That would be my ideal. I know it's not always sensible, and there are certain series that just, it's not a clever thing to do, but yeah, have something that you can physically see and use and get punished by. That is ideal for me. Don't want to do a risky move on him because that would just ruin a race, what's been a brilliant race. So I want to make it really clean and classy if I can. Very good round here. Very good round here. And then can we? We had contact. Gone. Yeah, I wasn't happy about the contact in the middle of that corner. Try again, shall we? Whee! That's not going to happen, is it? It's going to close up again. I had to check up at the last moment on the exit there, the worst possible place. Getting me timing is all wrong. Andrew, you got your timings all wrong, buddy. Oh, we all know where it's going to be, don't we? If it's going to be anywhere, it's going to have to be the last corner. Woo! Nice. Finally, got it right. That should have been done at least a lap before it was. Whew. Right. Let's get around here. So where do we go? So he slowed down a lot, didn't he, in the last... How did he drop nearly 2 seconds? It's a bit strange. Oh, it's because I'm... sorry. That's more like it. Right, okay. So he's we got about half a second in the end. And our fastest lap was done in the middle. That was a fair bit quicker, but there's still 48s in there though. There's quite a few 48s. That's not bad. I think current world record is a 48.5. It's not mine. I don't think I've been around here yet. I'd expect to drop. Well, that was a full tank of fuel, so I'd expect to drop about another second from that. So, yeah, well, I'd imagine if we did a time trial, I'd imagine that would be mid 47s. I would imagine. Yeah, and we only got a couple of laps in the middle there, didn't we, where we were free to run. So, yeah, that was interesting. I enjoyed that race. Let's let's go get into the replay and have a little look. That was yet another really enjoyable race. I was in two minds about coming here because I thought the track was going to be a bit too big, a bit too wide, a bit too boring. But you know what? It fitted. Well, I thought the car and the track fitted each other really, really well. It flowed beautifully as a circuit. And do you know what? I reckon it'd be a really good testing track. If I was to come here to do some testing, there's a good mix of corners here that would really teach you a lot. You got on power corners, you got off power corners, you got braking into, as in trail braking into. You've got short, sharp. You just got a mix of everything. So I reckon this would be an ideal testing circuit. We had very few issues with the AI. It's only really towards the end of the lap, I'd say, where the AI was slightly out of balance. A couple of places, wasn't there, where well, certainly going into the last corner, that run there. But then the flip side of that is that the AI was quicker coming out of this corner here. So, and this corner here. So, I mean that's real life. I mean, you'd have setup differences in real life that would mean you'd have your lap times being earned in different ways. So, I think it's pretty good. I think that the AI is probably, if you could reduce the deficit coming into the last corner just a little bit, I reckon you'd have a really, really excellent balance. So yeah, I'm very happy. Another another last lap, last corner victory. Yeah, very good, very happy. And another one I might I might go and do again right now as well because I enjoyed that. That was nice. Well, if you liked what you've seen and you enjoyed what I hope you thought was a good race, please do consider liking and subscribing. And until the next time, we'll see you later.